Good morning, it's Kate here, bringing you this week's Monday Mission. And this one is all about how to feel your feelings, which I know sounds kind of silly, right? Of course, we feel our feelings. But what I'm going to share with you today is how a lot of our behaviors that we engage in that don't serve us, and a lot of our addictions, our overeating, our anxiety, are a result of not feeling our feelings and pushing them away, trying to avoid them, not being able to just sit in our feelings. So I read something the other day that stated that it takes 90 seconds for a feeling to go through your body. So 90 seconds, if you truly just sit in the feeling and allow it to run its cycle, it takes 90 seconds to go through the emotion. And when I thought about that, like a minute and a half of being uncomfortable in a feeling versus years of disordered eating or years of anxiety attacks and feeling anxious all the time, years of not doing that thing that you really want to do because you doubt yourself. So 90 seconds versus, potentially years of engaging in that behavior. So when you look at it that way, it puts it in some perspective. Now, sitting in your feelings is not easy, and that's why a lot of us don't do it. A lot of us are very uncomfortable being uncomfortable, right? And so when we can get ourselves to be comfortable being uncomfortable, I'm telling you, this will change your life, I promise. So that's what we're going to focus on today. And I want to explain a little bit as what feeling our feelings can do for us. And to do that, I want to go back to sort of the model that we've been working in. So if you've been here for a little while, you know that I've been teaching that circumstances and things that happen in our lives create our thoughts, and we have thoughts around those things, right? And then our thoughts create our feelings create our actions, and actions create our results. But I want to focus in feelings today, okay? So if we can get comfortable being uncomfortable, if we can sit in those feelings, it's going to do a lot of things for us. First, it's going to allow you to recognize patterns. So if you're recognizing that in a certain situation, this is the feeling that you have, you're going to be able to see a pattern. And when you have a pattern, then you can interrupt that pattern and you can reframe the thought. You can work on further identifying the feeling, whatever it is, to break that pattern and to break that cycle. It gives you the opportunity to do that by really sitting and feeling your feelings and truly recognizing what feeling it is. It allows you to get closer to the thought that is creating it. Okay, so if you're kind of always just using a blanket term of a feeling and you're describing every feeling that you have the same way, it's going to be really difficult to recognize the thought that's coming up for you. So for example, if you're always saying, I'm so stressed, oh, that stresses me out, oh, I just have so much stress going on. That stress may actually be describing different feelings. So a stress at home may be because you don't feel like you have any help. You feel like you're on your own and you feel unappreciated for the things that you do at home. Stress at work maybe because there's difficulty, or you have difficulty delegating tasks to other people, so you're taking it all on. So stress can mean several different things. And if you're able to get to the true description of the feeling, it's going to allow you to get closer to that thought that is causing it, which will allow us to reframe it and to challenge that thought. Okay. The other thing that feeling our feelings allows us to do is to communicate better with yourself, but also with others. So it allows you to be more open with yourself to what's truly going on. And then it also allows your partner or kids or anyone that you're in a relationship also know what's going on. So if you go back to the example where I said that you feel like everything that needs done at home is always on you, and if you can tease that out to show that you're actually feeling underappreciated or not appreciated, then see how that difference is when you communicate that to your partner. If you're constantly just saying to your partner, I'm stressed, that may mean different things to them. But if you say, I'm feeling stress And I think it's coming from actually being unappreciated with the things that I do at home. Then your partner can go, well, of course I appreciate you. What can I do to help and to show that I do appreciate you? Because right now that's not coming across for you. But it allows you to communicate that to them a little bit more, so then they know how to act and react and engage with you, okay? The other thing that it does is it really gives you your power back. The power that you've had all along, but it gives you the power back. And what I mean by that is when you're comfortable feeling a feeling, then you start to have confidence in yourself that you can get through anything and you can get through any feeling. Okay, so if you're scared to try that new thing, it's really scary for you. You have a lot of fear around putting yourself out there and being vulnerable. Well, if you felt your feelings, if you allowed yourself to feel and sit with your feelings, that feeling of vulnerability before and that feeling of fear, then the next time that comes up for you, you can be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling fear. I'm feeling vulnerable. You know how to deal with that because you already sat with that feeling before. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to get with it. Or let's say that, self-doubt is coming up for you. There's something that you want to do at work or you want to do at home or just something with your life. And you're doubting your ability to do that. Well, if you have sat with that feeling before, you know that you'll survive it. You can get through the 90 seconds. You know that at the end of that feeling, if you allow it to go through you, you survived it. And it will just give you more power in recognizing that if this feeling comes up for you again, oh, hey, I'm going to be able to deal with that. But one of the reasons, or one of the things that we need to do to make that easier for you is to really be specific with the feeling. So that's what our mission is for this week, is to get super specific about feelings that are coming up with you or coming up for you. Okay. So for example, let's just start with happy. Okay. Let's say that you're feeling happy. You might tease that out a little bit more and say things like, I'm thankful or I'm content. Okay. So those two things could also mean happy, but they're a little bit more specific. If you're recognizing that some anger is coming up for you, you can kind of drill down to see, or is it that you're defensive? Is it that you're irritated? If you're feeling hurt, is it that you've been betrayed or you feel betrayed by someone, or you're jealous of something or someone? If you're feeling anxious, is it more that you're nervous about something? Because remember how we talked about anxiety can actually be a good thing. It's your brain's way of protecting you. So is it more that you're nervous, or is it that you're being cautious of something? Okay, those are two different things and may be created by two different thoughts. So being more specific with your emotions is going to allow you to get closer to that thought, and then we can, reframe or challenge that thought. So that's the first part of the mission, is to be super specific about the feeling that's coming up for you. And I'm going to put in another image that you'll be able to save in your phone with some suggestions of what might come, what other feelings a blanket statement may be meaning for you, okay? So your second part of your mission is, once you recognize the feeling, when that feeling comes up for you and you want to reach for the Girl Scout cookies, or you want to just go to bed and avoid the world, or you notice the anxiety is coming up and the repetitive thoughts are coming up, whatever it is that you typically do instead of feeling that feeling, the second part of your mission is to say this: I'm feeling whatever it is the feeling is. Okay, so we can go ahead and use anxious. I'm feeling anxious because of a sentence in my mind. Okay, or because of a thought that's in my mind. When I feel anxious, I can feel my heart race. I am breathing faster or not breathing at all. I'm holding my breath, I'm catching my breath. And it's okay. It's okay. Hey, anxiety, thanks so much for showing up, but you're not needed right now. I'm safe. I'm not in danger. and I can get through this. But thank you for trying to protect me. Okay, so something along those lines of, hey, jealousy. Isn't that a song? 90s, wow, who sang that? Somebody will have to share that with me if you're a 90s kid. Hey, jealousy. I recognize that you're here. You're trying to communicate something to me. I've felt jealousy before, and I can work through this. I can figure out the thoughts that are creating it, and I can sit with you, and it's going to be okay. If you have anger, hey, anger, I recognize that you're here to teach me something. I'm going to try to sit with you and feel the feeling go through me and try to connect a thought to it so that I can work on it later. All right, so those are your missions for today. So you're going to be really specific about your emotions with a label, a really specific label. And when the feeling comes up for you, you're going to say, hey, feeling, I understand why you're here. Thanks for showing up. Either you're not needed right now, or, hey, I'm going to let you wash over me, and I'm going to sit with you for 90 seconds or however long it takes, and we're going to get through this. And the next time that you show up, I'm going to be able to deal with it. I'm going to be able to handle it. The last thing I wanted to mention is how you could work through this with your kids. So it's the same kind of thing, except that they may not have the vocabulary and the language for their feelings like we do. So if your child is upset about something, you may be able to offer suggestions to them as to what they could possibly be feeling. Label it as frustration, or I feel sad, I'm disappointed. You can start building that vocabulary for them, and you can also encourage them to feel it. Okay, so as parents, it's really easy to want to just avoid any kind of negative feeling for our kids, right? So one of the examples I've really recognized lately is my son, when he loses a video game, gets really upset. And it's so easy for me to say, it's just a game. Like, get over it. It's not a big deal. But it really is a big deal to him. So what I've tried to do is say things like, yeah, bud, like, I would be super frustrated with that too. And that's enough. That just validating that for them, recognizing that it's normal and it's human and it's healthy to have those emotions, and letting them know that they can get through it and they'll be able to feel it and move on. So that's one of the ways that we can start helping our kids with this. So I hope this helps. Please, as always, share with me what comes up for you this week, how you've been specific with your feelings and your emotions, and how you've talked to your emotions when they come up. So I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.